Hi everyone, this is the 115th video of the ACT Math Practice Problem series, and here we have a nice problem from the concept of fraction and simultaneous equations. As I always recommend, before seeing the solution, you can pause the video and give it a try yourself, and after that of course you want to match with my solution. So let's get started. Here the question says, when 1 is added to the denominator of a proper fraction, it is equal to 1 over 2, but when 2 is subtracted from the denominator, it is equal to 2 over 3. The original fraction is which of the following 5 options, right? So there are two different ways of solving this type of problem. One way would be through trial and error, and the second way would be creating simultaneous equation and solving the equations, right? So let's first try through the trial and error option. So we're going to take each of these answer options and we're going to try our two different criteria here, right? So the first criteria says that when 1 is added to the denominator, it is equal to 1/2. That means the new value becomes 1/2. So now let's try to add 1 in the denominator here. So in the option A, we have 3 over 5. And from here, we're going to add 1 in the denominator. So this becomes 3 over 5 plus 1, and that would be 3 over 6, and that is actually 1/2. So yep, that satisfies our first requirement. Well, how about the second requirement? And for the second requirement, let's try again. If 2 is subtracted from the denominator, so this time we are going to subtract 2 from the denominator. So it will be 5 minus 2. So it will be 3 over 5 minus 2, and that would be 3 over 3, and that is equal to 1. But our criteria is that it has to be equal to 2/3. So option A is not the correct option. So let's try the option B. Well, option B is 4 over 7. And if we add 1 in the denominator, that would be 4 over 7 plus 1, that is 4 over 8, and that is again 1/2. So here also the first criteria is satisfying. How about the second criteria? Well, we have to subtract 2 from the denominator, so that would be 4 over 7 minus 2, that would be 4 over 5, and that does not satisfy the second criteria. So option B is also not going to work. Well, how about option C? There we have 5 over 9. And from here, if we add 1 in the denominator, that would be 5 over 10, meaning 5 over 9 plus 1, that is equal to 5 over 10, and that will be equal to 1/2. Well, that satisfies the first criteria. Let's try the second criteria. So that would be 5 over 9 minus 2. We got to subtract 2 from the denominator, so that would be 5 over 7, and that does not meet our second criteria. Well, then option C is also not going to work. Well, how about option D? Let's try that. So 6 over 11, and we are going to add 1 in the denominator, so that would be 6 over 11 plus 1, that will be equal to 6 over 12, and that is equal to 1/2. So again, all of them satisfying the first criteria, but let's check the second criteria here again. So this is 6 over 11 minus 2, because we have to subtract 2 from the denominator. So then we get 6 over 9, and that is equal to 2 over 3, 2/3. Alright, that looks like the correct answer. So our second criteria is that if we subtract 2 from the denominator, it has to be equal to 2/3, and we have found it. So option D is the correct option. And in fact, as soon as you find the correct answer, you really don't need to proceed any further. You should be done with this question. You should move on to the next question. Now here I am also going to talk about the other way of solving this type of problem, which is through simultaneous equation. So let's quickly discuss about that method also. Using that method, if we assume that the numerator is x and the denominator is y, that's our original fraction, right? Let's assume that this is our original fraction. Then from the first criteria, if we add 1 to the denominator, this will be equal to 1/2, and that is our equation number 1. So this is from the first criteria, and this is our equation number 1. And what is the second criteria? Well, the second criteria says that if 2 is subtracted from the denominator, so this time we are going to subtract 2, so that would be x over y minus 2. Then this will be equal to 2/3, and this is our second equation. Now we need to try and solve these two equations, right? So now let's solve it. So from the first equation, what do we get? From the first equation, we have x over y plus 1 is equal to 1/2, and from here, if we cross multiply, then it will be 2 times x is equal to y plus 1. And if we bring the y to the left hand side, then it will be 2 times x minus y is equal to 1. Let's say this is our equation number 3. And then from equation 2, what do we get? So equation 2 says that x over y minus 2 is equal to 2/3, and from here if we cross multiply, that would be 3 times x, and on the right hand side it would be 2 times y minus 4, and if we bring the y term to the left hand side, then we're going to have 3 times x minus 2 times y is equal to -4. And let's suppose this is our equation number 4. So now we have to solve equation number 3 and 4 to find the values of x and y, right? So let's quickly solve them. Now if we multiply equation number 3 by 2, then it would be easy. We can cancel the y terms by subtracting the equation number 4 from the new equation. So let's do it like that. So equation number 3 multiplied by 2 gives us what? So this will give us 2 times of x minus y is equal to again 1 times 2. So from here we are going to get 4 times x minus 2 times y is equal to 2, and let's say this is our equation number 5. And then from equation number 4 we already have 3 times x, I'm just writing here 3 times x minus 2 times y is equal to -4. And now we're going to do a subtraction here. We're going to subtract equation number 4 from equation number 5. So after subtraction, we're going to get x, y terms will cancel each other, that will be equal to 2 plus 4, that is 6. So x is equal to 6. So we have found out that x is equal to 6. And then let's substitute this value of x in equation number 3. So in equation number 3, we have 2 times x minus y equals 1. And from here, y would be equal to 2 times x minus 1, and that will be equal to 2 times 6 minus 1, and that is actually 12 minus 1, and that is equal to 11. So our original fraction, which is right here, x over y, so that original fraction is looking like 6 over 11. So then we can say, well, then our original fraction is actually 6 over 11. And if you look at our answer options, we have actually picked the correct option, because by calculating the simultaneous equations, we also find that the fraction is actually equal to 6 over 11. So I'm just simply writing here x over y turned out to be 6 over 11, and we have picked the correct option, which is option D, and that is also same as 6 over 11. So doesn't matter whichever way you solve, you will of course find the right answer. Whichever method is easier for you, try to follow that method, because in ACT exam you have to solve the problems as quickly as possible. So use your own fastest method, right? I hope everything made sense. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.